Yes. All right, go ahead.
Yeah. Okay.
Oh,
Yeah.
there.
Okay, now it's already 4:30, so we will start our NLP presentation again. And this time we have Dr. Zhenyue to give our talk on learning language models. Yeah, maybe you can introduce yourself and start.
Yeah,
Yeah.
thank you very much, Dr. Huan, for introducing. And hi, my name is Zhenyue Qin, and I'm currently a postdoc at Yale, working with Qingyu Chen. Thank you very much for attending this presentation. The title is Learning Large Models. Oh, by the way, yeah, Kevin. Oh, okay, sure. Sorry, I just my throat is not working very well peacefully, so yeah. Okay, is this better? Cool.
Good.
Okay. So before we get started, maybe let's have a look at the likely it may not be very accurate about the future predictions and research aim. And yeah, so let's begin by revisiting some of the key milestones in the AI's development. In 2012, Tencent sparks the rise of deep learning. Just a decade later, in 2022, ChatGPT marked a significant leap forward, showcasing the potential of large language models and hinting the possibility of artificial general intelligence on the horizon. In 2016, ResNet demonstrated the growth ubiquity of neural networks, with the deep learning models achieving unprecedented accuracy in image recognition tasks. Building on the trend, when we predicted that in 2026, large language models will become the foundation across industries. If we look back at the 2022, this was when GPT-3 emerged. This provided a glimpse into the immense potential of next-gen AI, showcasing the ability of large language models to generate human-like text and perform complex language tasks. Looking ahead to 2030, we may witness the emergence of agentic AI, which has been predicted by a lot of famous persons like Andrew Ng and Jensen Huang, with large models exhibiting increasingly autonomous and adaptive behavior. If we look moving on to the central theme of learning large models, I believe that large models will achieve ubiquity, serving as the foundation and driving transformative changes across diverse domains. However, despite their widespread adoption, adapting large models of different fields and specific use cases remains a necessary step. Off-the-shelf large models, while they are quite powerful, often require fine-tuning and customization to align with the unique requirements and the constraints of each application. This is where my ongoing research comes into play, focusing on developing effective strategies and techniques for adapting them to specific application scenarios. So to provide an overview of my work, I'm currently engaged with the following main areas. The first one is benchmark models. I am constructing comprehensive benchmarks to assess the performance of large models across various domains. And the second is refining imperfect outputs. While large models have demonstrated remarkable capabilities, their outputs are not always perfect. In many cases, the generated text or predictions may be overall correct, but contain some minor flaws, inconsistencies, or imperfections. Addressing these issues is critical for ensuring the reliability and trustworthiness of large model outputs. In addition, I'm also working on adopting large models to specific domains through fine-tuning techniques. This work is currently ongoing and is not covered in this presentation. Just to mention this for completeness. I would first like to introduce our work, LMOD, a large multimodal ophthalmology dataset and benchmark for large vision language models. This work was recently accepted by NICO 2025, which will happen in New Mexico between 29 April to 4th of May. Before we get into details, I would like to first give some background. Over 2.2 billion people worldwide suffer from vision-related problems, and in many cases remain undiagnosed or untreated due to limited access to comprehensive eye care. To address this challenge, we aim to establish a benchmark for evaluating the performance of large vision language models in ophthalmology-specific applications. By doing so, we hope to validate and advance the development of AI models that can assist in understanding anatomical information, diagnosing eye diseases, and drafting interpretations and follow-up plans. In this talk, I will cover 4 aspects: the challenges we face, the scenarios we propose, the results of benchmark, and a description of the benchmark itself. Let's first look at the challenges for constructing such a benchmark. One major hurdle is the lack of datasets specifically designed for evaluating large models in ophthalmology. Acquiring ophthalmic data is inherently difficult. Privacy concerns, regulations, and the sensitive nature of medical information propose significant barriers to data collection. Furthermore, annotating medical data demands specialized expertise and domain knowledge, making it costly and time-consuming. Another challenge lies in prompting large models to output detailed observations. In ophthalmology, acquiring diagnosis and treatment planning rely on recognizing subtle features in ophthalmology images. However, directly asking models to describe the entire image may not capture sufficient fine-grained details. I know this is abstract, so let's look at one example. So if we look at this image and we ask the question, describe the given image from pathological perspective. If we look at the results from LAVA, which is one of the state-of-the-art large vision language models, this model provides a high-level description of the eye, mentioning the retina and the blood vessels. But if we want to look at the details of the image, I'm interested in more details than this one. So, for example, if for an ophthalmologist, they would note numerous more detailed image features, such as I'm having difficulties in pronouncing this kind of words, but you can have a look at it by yourself. And yeah, this discrepancy highlights the non-trivial property of eliciting detailed and clinically relevant observations from large vision language models. So the third challenge is the quantification of free-form responses generated by large vision language models. Evaluations should provide an immediate and intuitive sense of a model's performance, allowing researchers and clinicians to quickly assess its capabilities. For example, commonly used metrics such as BORD score may lack reliability and interpretability in the context of large vision language models. For example, if we just give a BORD score for like 2.1, like what is the meaning behind that? Furthermore, large vision language models generate open-ended free-form responses, which can vary significantly in content and structure. This diversity makes it challenging to map these outputs to standardized comparable metrics. So before we continue, let's again review the challenges for constructing an ophthalmology benchmark. In brief, there are three parts. First is data. The data designed for evaluating large models in ophthalmology is scarce. Second is prompt design, which is that eliciting detailed observations often are high-level descriptions of images rather than details. The third one is free-form outputs. Mapping the free-form open-ended outputs to standardized comparable metrics is non-trivial. We have seen the challenges, so let's now explore the solutions we propose to address these challenges. To address the lack of data, we propose repurposing existing datasets. By transforming datasets not originally designed for evaluating large vision language models into suitable forms, we can leverage them for our purposes. For instance, we can adapt ophthalmology disease diagnosis data by modifying the task from classification to question answering. Instead of directly predicting the disease label, we prompt the model with a question like, based on the image, please tell whether the image contains glaucoma, then give justifications, follow the format. Yeah. The approach allows to assess the model's ability to assess diseases and provide explanations based on visual features. Additionally, we can leverage detection and segmentation datasets to evaluate the model's understanding of image details. By utilizing the bounding box annotations present in the datasets, we can purport the model to describe the contents of specific regions of interest. This targeted approach enables a more fine-grained assessment of the model's ability to recognize and locate anatomical structures. Let's have a look at some examples which may be more concrete. For example, to tackle the challenge of eliciting detailed observations, we introduce targeted prompting with annotated regions. By placing bounding boxes annotations on specific regions of interest in ophthalmology images, we can guide the model's attention to specific areas and obtain more detailed observations. For example, we can draw bounding boxes around the key structures like optical disc, macula, and retinal lessons. Then we prompt the model with a question like, please describe the contents of the highlighted regions in the image. This targeted approach directs the model to focus on specifically areas of clinical relevance and encourages more detailed and informative responses. For quantification of freeform outputs, we propose using structured templates and multiple metrics by designing templates that guide the model's responses into a format amenable to direct comparison with the ground truth. And passing these templated responses, we can obtain structured outcomes. Moreover, we employ various metrics to gain a comprehensive understanding of the model's performance. So let's now have a look at the overview of the benchmark dataset and evaluation pipeline. Our benchmark dataset, LMOD, which stands for Large-Scale Multimodal Ophthalmology Dataset, consists of more than 21,000 images covering 5 key ophthalmology imaging modalities, which includes OCT, color fundus photographs, SLO, lens photographs, and surgical scenes. This diversity range of modalities allows for a comprehensive evaluation of large vision language models. LMOD is also richly annotated with the region-level bounding boxes and associated labels, enabling fine-grained assessment of anatomical recognition. Additionally, the dataset includes diagnostic labels for glaucoma and macular hole staging, supporting the evaluation of disease diagnostic capabilities. In terms of the models, we evaluated a diverse set of 13 state-of-the-art large vision language models, including commercial models like GPT-4o, open source models such as Lava, InterVL, Vela, E, and Qwen, as well as medical domain-specific models like LavaMed and MedFlamingo. This wide range of models allows for a comprehensive comparison of different architectures, training strategies, and domain adaptations. Our evaluation metrics are designed to provide a multi-aspect assessment of the model's performance. For anatomical recognition, we employ precision, recall, and F1 scores to measure the model's ability to correctly identify and localize anatomical structures. We also introduce a novel metric called hallucination resistance to quantify the model's capability to avoid generating non-existence regions. For diagnosis analysis, we use accuracy as the primary metric to evaluate the correctness of glaucoma detection and macular hole staging predictions. This metric provides a straightforward assessment of the model's diagnostic performance. To the best of our knowledge, few benchmarks exist for the development and evaluation of large vision language models in ophthalmology. Few benchmark propose a significant barrier. This lack of benchmark proposes a significant barrier to systematically evaluate the feasibility of applying existing large vision language models in this domain. In contrast, several benchmarks have been established in both the general and medical domains. However, existing benchmarks in ophthalmology are primarily designed for NLP or focusing on a single image modality or a specific task. This figure shows an overview of our data processing and evaluation pipeline for assessing the performance of large vision language models. The raw image information is preprocessed to extract structural data, such as bounding boxes and disease conditions. This aggregated information is then used to generate prompts for large vision language models to identify the type of each labeled regions or conduct diagnosis analysis. The large vision language models process the image input and prompt to generate the responses. And then they categorize each region or disease or described diseases. Finally, the model's output is compared against the ground truth results, and then we can just get the evaluation for calculating the metrics. Let's now dive into the detailed results for the benchmark. In terms of the diagnosis analysis, we found that the accuracy of all models were near random guessing for both glaucoma detection and macular hole staging. For glaucoma, the average accuracy across all models was just like 50.31%, only slightly above the random baseline of 50%. Similarly, for macular hole staging, the average accuracy was a mere 15.31%, which the random baseline is 25%. This result highlights the significant challenge that large vision language models face in accurately doing diagnosis on ophthalmology diseases based on visual information alone. Despite their impressive performance in other domains, the complex nature of ophthalmology images and the subtle clinical features that differentiate various conditions pose substantial difficulties in these models. Interestingly, even medical domain-specific models like LMOD, which were pre-trained on medical literature and images, struggled with these diagnostic tasks. This suggested that exposure to medical knowledge through pre-training may not be sufficient for acquiring the specialized skills required for accurate ophthalmology diagnosis. For anatomical recognition, the best performing model, GPT-4o, achieved an FR score of 0.57, significantly higher than random performance. This indicates that large vision language models made progress in recognizing and localizing anatomic structures in ophthalmology images. However, there remains substantial room for improvement. As we can see, like 0.57 is still far below than 1. The average F1 score, if we take all the models into consideration, was only just 0.21, highlighting the need for further advancement in this area. Models also struggled, particularly with the complex images containing multiple bounding boxes, such as surgical scenes. Surprisingly, as we said before, if we look at this kind of like reader chart again, medical specific models like LabMed and MedFlamingo did not demonstrate improved performance compared to general purpose large vision language models. Our comprehensive error analysis revealed several key issues that hinder the performance of large vision language models in ophthalmology. The most prevalent error category was the lack of precise knowledge, accounting for 34% of the errors. Models often demonstrated inadequate medical understanding or produced medical inaccurate explanations. The second most common error type was assertion, constituting 21% of the errors. Models frequently provided assertive predictions without detailed explanations. Misclassification of conditions or stages were third most prevalent error, accounting for 19% of the errors. Models struggled to accurately differentiate between various disease stages or severity levels. Our experiments also revealed the non-trivial nature of improving large vision language models' performance in ophthalmology. Fine-tuning, for example, on medical lava, a medical-specific model, resulted in invalid outputs, such as repeating the word RPT instead of generating meaningful responses. This indicates that a simple fine-tuning is insufficient for adapting large vision language models to the ophthalmology domain. Interestingly, large vision language models demonstrated the ability to distinguish between ophthalmology images and non-ophthalmology ones, suggesting that they have acquired some domain-specific knowledge on ophthalmology during pre-training. For example, when presented with the retinal fundus photo, GPT-4o and other models as well can correctly identify it as an ophthalmology-related image, and it described its potential applications in detecting various eye conditions. Actually, most models achieved 100% accuracy in the differentiation between the ophthalmology images and the non-ophthalmology ones. However, this high-level recognition does not translate to accurate diagnosis or detailed understanding of the image contents. Further research is needed to bridge the gap between the recognizing ophthalmology images and effectively leveraging that knowledge for clinical tasks. So if we look at the summary of what we are doing, in summary, our benchmark revealed that current large vision language models demonstrated a limited ability in accurately doing diagnosis on ophthalmology diseases. The near-random performance in glaucoma detection and macular hole staging highlights the significant room for improving the critical area. While large vision language models have made progress in anatomic recognition, there remains a substantial opportunity for enhancing the capability to precisely recognize and locate anatomical structures in ophthalmology images. Our error analysis uncovers key challenges, including the lack of precise medical knowledge, assertive prediction without detailed explanations, misclassification of conditions, failure to handle irrelevant data, hallucination of non-existent details, and inconsistent reasoning. Although large vision language models have been made exposed to ophthalmology data during training and can distinguish ophthalmology images from non-ophthalmology ones, bridging the gap between the data exposure and effective understanding requires further explanation. Simple fine-tuning provides insufficiency for adapting large language models to ophthalmology. So that concludes the first part. Any questions up to here? Yeah.
The open release.
Yeah, you can download it now, like online already.
What's the data sources of this data?
For the data source, they consist of like multiple data, like ophthalmology image data sets from like covering like different modalities. Most of them are just public data sets. Not all of them are public data sets. No, they are. We checked the copyright like manually. They are just the CC copyright. Yeah.
Make it a dynamically evaluation benchmark has more advanced large language model.
Yeah, we always have the plan. The point is that we may not have the energy for doing that, but if possible, we really want to do that. Yeah. Yeah, it really depends on our energy and the tasks we receive every day.
Do you have any suggestion about how these data sets can be benefit for future research like model training?
Oh, yeah, that's a great question. So for example, like from the data set, we can see that if we just rely on the images alone without accessing, for example, the text data, like the current diagnosis performance is just a random chance. So like if any model at the moment can do the disease diagnosis more than random chance, like we think it will be an improvement. So to answer your question about how this kind of data sets or the benchmark can benefit the current research on ophthalmology, I would say that, for example, as we discussed before, understanding the details on images is important, but the current performance is also not is far below satisfactory. So like in the future, the development of the models can use this as a guideline to say that whether their models after training can make progress on, for example, anatomical recognition, which is the understanding of the details of the images, and also the diagnostic analysis. Yeah, yeah.
Do you have an evaluation on the data quality?
Oh, that is a great question. So yes, so for when we were doing the like data, when we were constructing the benchmark and data set, like we was first saw the performance was very low. So we were thinking, oh, if we go back to this slide. Yeah, yeah, unfortunately, I didn't include that here, but we saw that performance was very low. So we just saw, oh, well, did we make any mistakes? So we try to supervise the training for example, for doing the anatomical recognition, as well as the like the disease diagnosis. And for disease diagnosis in particular, for molecular whole staging, like the supervised training can achieve more than 95% accuracy. For anatomical recognition, like it was similar. The accuracy for like supervised training was very high, but for large language models, it was quite low. So to answer your question, that implies that the data set by itself may be distinguishable or like separable for doing this kind of classification. But for large language models, it was the performance was far below than that one. So I think yeah, I don't know whether that answer your question in terms of the data quality. The answer is that we can try supervised training to see the potential of the upper bound for the classification result. Yeah. Yeah, that is a great question, because during the like review process, we were asked exactly the same question, and we didn't answer that question. We didn't answer. I don't know. So to answer your question, we don't have any expert involved at the moment. So if we want to extend this work, I think we will address that issue, which was exactly proposed to like get some like manual evaluation or some manual like involvement in. Qingyu's plan was that to get a very subset of the data set and with like richly annotated by human experts, and this that has some like high quality data set for evaluation. For example, the reasoning at the moment is quite popular and is a hot topic. So we may test the reasoning performance of these models. And for example, for testing their, or like doing some training, like reinforcement learning, human feedback, something like that. Yeah. Yeah, sorry.
It's fine, you had a good conversation. So if I saw at the beginning, you said that your training set was about 20,000, correct?
Yeah, yeah, exactly. So the
22,000.
yeah,
Okay.
22,000. That was not training. That was just for evaluation. Yeah.
Okay, evaluation.
Yeah.
My understanding that is a small number for LLMs. Is that right?
Yeah. So for training, to answer your question, for evaluation, this number may be efficient already. But I think your question is asking about if we train the large vision language models, whether 22,000 images are enough or not. Oh, I misunderstood your question.
Yeah, I'm thinking. Ophthalmology is pretty specialized and wouldn't necessarily be vacuumed up with everything. Not necessarily. So did you throw in something like a convolutional neural network just as a side comparison?
Oh yeah, that's a great question. Yeah, as we just discussed, we tried some like a supervised training as we were answering Chen's question. And that kind of supervised training was used the backbone of convolutional neural networks, and they can achieve like for macular whole staging, there was like more than 95% accuracy. For like a glaucoma analysis, it was approximately 77% accuracy.
Okay, sorry, I couldn't keep up.
Oh no, I didn't say that. So that was a great question. So yeah, and for like we just doing the supervised training for this kind of anatomic understanding for this kind of regions. If I recall correctly, the accuracy was at least 90%. So to answer your question, if we use the convolutional neural networks as a comparison, the accuracy was very high, which implies some potential for large language models performance. But currently it was far away from that. So there must be something not very happy happening in the middle. But our next step is just trying to address this gap. Okay, yeah. Okay, great question. So your question is that how did we calculate the hallucination resistance score? So basically, for example, if we have a look at this example, can you see my mouse? No. Okay, cool. So for example, sometimes if we have a look at this one. Yeah, I may not have the proper like visual examples, but for example, you have predicted some regions which do not exist in the original image. So you calculate the ratio between the regions that are hallucinated divided by the actual region numbers, and then because you in that case that the value is higher, it implies that the performance is lower. So we just take the opposite of that number by using the one minus that number that we just calculated as the hallucination resistance. Why? Because like when we want to, there was a point out by one of the authors. Because first we were we want to draw some like figures like this Frida figure, and what we want is that the outlines are, the better it implies the performance to be the point. So we want to take the opposite of that. Yeah. Any further questions? Zach, I saw you were raising the hand.
If you could repeat the question.
Oh yeah, okay.
A little bit late for that.
Yeah, okay. No worries. I can remember the question. So our friend asks that what is the hallucination resistance score? And our gentleman here asked that whether like 22,000 images were enough for training and evaluation. And have we compared any comparison with the convolutional neural networks? Unfortunately for Chen, like there were so many questions she asked, so like yeah, yeah. If people have any further questions that want to ask, like they can email me later, and then I'll just yeah, I'll repeat the questions. Okay, so that's about this work. So, while the impressive capabilities of large vision language models have captured significant interest, it is important to recognize that large models extend beyond this domain. In recent years, we have witnessed the emergence of large diffusion models that have demonstrated a remarkable capability to generate visually stunning or highly realistic images. These models have pushed the boundaries of what is possible in terms of image synthesis. However, despite the remarkable results produced by these models, there are still challenges that need to be addressed before they can be seamlessly integrated into real-world applications. One such challenge is the generation of anatomically correct human hands. In the following, we are going to see techniques and approaches to ensure that large diffusion models can generate hands that are not only visually realistic, but also anatomically precise, facilitating the landing of large diffusion models. So now, yeah, let's just have a look at the work HandCraft, anatomically correct restoration of malformed hands in diffusion-generated images. This work has been accepted by WACV 2025, which will happen in Arizona between February 28th to March 4th. So yeah, so basically, this video may tell you some visually like impressive impression of what is happening. Feel free to scan the QR code. You don't need, it's not scam, don't worry. If it's a scam, just ask Zach for the recomposition.
What?
Don't worry. Yeah. Okay. So let's please have a look at the background of the work. So diffusion models are quite popular nowadays. I don't know whether people use the work of the software like Midjourney or like even Canva. They support the image generation. So they can generate high quality, high resolution images based on text prompts, and they can also perform tasks like image editing or translation. However, when generating human portraits, these models often produce malformed hands. This problem is common across different diffusion models. These malformed hands are not only anatomically incorrect, but also given unnatural or even bizarre feeling, severely impacting the quality. On this slide, we showcase some examples of malformed hands. The leftmost hand has only 4 fingers. The second image shows a hand missing the pinky finger. The third image has a hand with 6 fingers. The first image shows a hand with only 4 fingers. So this problem is just quite common, occurring across different genders, races, age groups, and image style. So when AI artists receive this kind of imperfect images, they often resort to manual post-processing. So like if you search on YouTube about how to manually fix this kind of problems, you can find many tutorials. But in terms of this manual processing approach has several drawbacks. First is time consuming. Manually editing each image takes a significant amount of time, especially when dealing with a large volume of generated images. The second one is scale dependent. The quality of the final result relies heavily on the artist's skill and familiarity with the image and the editing software. The third one is limited scalability. Apparently that this kind of fixing requires numerous laborious work, which is not scalable. To address these kind of challenges, there's a clear need for automated post-processing techniques that can efficiently and effectively refine the raw outputs of AI image generation models. This is basically our purpose for doing this work. I personally have tried the AI generation before, and I did generate some images. Actually, it was quite not very easy. Like in order to generate one image that you are happy, for example, like my avatar for the Zoom, like I tried more than 100 times for doing that. And if you have generated one image that you are happy, but just due to a small flaw in the image, you need to abandon that. It is kind of pity and yeah. So as we said before, like AI painters often manually post-processing the generated image with malformed hands to rescue them. So we want to provide an end-to-end tool for the AI painting community, helping AI painters recycle those generated images that look great in overall but have malformed hands. So again, our desirability include the following. First is plug and play. So we just want the work to be compatible with the existing stable diffusion models. Users can directly use it without additional fine-tuning or training. We hope this can greatly lower the usage barrier, making it easy to promote and apply. Second is local repair. We would like HandCraft to precisely locate the hand region and only modifies the area, trying to avoid affecting other parts of the image. Second is gesture control. We wish HandCraft to support repairing malformed hands into different gestures, providing AI artists with more creative form. They can choose the most suitable gestures according to their needs. Yeah, this is the pipeline for hand restoration. We first need to detect where the hands are. And we also need to get the key points of the malformed hand to outline the overall structure. This information is quite important and we'll see later. Then we need to select the hand template. It describes the shape and structure of the hand we want to repair in an abstract and generalized way. We can randomly select a template, or we can get the silhouette of the malformed hands. Then we select the template whose area overlaps the most with the silhouette to maintain the hand shape consistency. With the above two pieces of information, we can determine the area to be repaired. That is, perform a union operation on the detection area and the hand template area. Doing so ensures that we cover all areas of the malformed hand. Yeah, and then we just generate the control image. How to precisely align the hand template with the input malformed hand is both important and challenging, as even seemingly very small errors in the step can lead to serious anatomical structure errors and visual artifacts in the repair results. We humans are very sensitive to perception of body anatomy, and a little error will bring serious discomforts. On this slide, we show some examples of repair results with small errors in template alignment. The first image shows the original hand template without restoration, without rotating. If we look at the second image and then we rotate it 15 degrees clockwise, then like if we look at the control image, like they look almost exactly the same. But if we look at the images here at the bottom, like the girl does not look very natural. In particular, if we look at the wrist part, like it looks like it has been disconnected from the wrist, which is kind of scary. And yeah, if we increase this rotation angle, like the performance will be even worse. Also, another aspect is that the handedness is kind of important as well. Errors in handedness will lead to confusion in finger detection, direction, and hand posture. For example, the fourth image shows the result of flipping hand. This error causes like errors in the direction and the connection position of the finger joints. In order to so this is the result of how to align the hand template to the hand here. Basically, it involves four steps. Like we just manually select the key points on the hand template, and then align, and then first do scaling, and then translate these key points into the hand here, and then so that it aligns the hand template to the hand of the original image. And the method is quite simple, and but the performance was pretty good in terms of the robustness and the final result. Another thing is that if people want to further enhance the vividness of the entire image and add more textures to the hand, we can use instructor pixel to pixel to be additionally applied for further processing. Instruction pixel is proposed in 2023, which like you give, for example, you give an image and then you send a instruction of the instruction to about how to modify the image. Then it will change the original image according to your instruction. So what we did here was that we can just say like, can you just add more textures to the original image? And then in this way, like your output image will be more rich in terms of the textures. So we want to use Stable Diffusion XL in instruct pixel to pixel, and Stable Diffusion XL was a new version at that time. The problem was that at that time, Stable Diffusion, at that time, the Hugging Face diffusers framework did not support as Stable Diffusion XL within the instruct pixel to pixel pipeline. To overcome this challenge, we implement Stable Diffusion XL in the instruction pixel to pixel pipeline of the Hugging Face diffusers framework by ourselves. Implementation of this support was not very trivial. At first, we had to modify many function signatures to accommodate the changes from the original Stable Diffusion to Stable Diffusion XL. Once the code could run, we tried training the instruct pixel to pixel Stable Diffusion XL model. The initial inference of result looks very weird, as it shows here. Upon further investigation, we discovered that the encoder's output consisted entirely of nines, causing the decoder to produce strange results. This issue was particularly challenging because Stable Diffusion XL has just released at that time. There was no reference materials available online to guide us. In the end, by tracking the inference values, we found that the values were valid before the VAE part, but after the VAE part, it became invalid. We hypothesized that this issue was due to the floating precision, because like the VAE part used the floating 16. After we changed to 32, everything seems to be more smooth. And then we implemented the training pipeline for Stable Diffusion XL on Hugging Face and compared with the original Stable Diffusion version. Stable Diffusion XL converged faster, had a lower loss value, and the final results appeared more valid. Sorry, vivid. So the thing after successfully implementing Stable Diffusion XL's support in the instruct pixel to pixel pipeline, we had a discussion and decided to contribute to our work to Hugging Face diffusers community. Our contribution consists of more than 4,000 lines of code, which included the training pipeline, the inference pipeline, and the control net implementing pipeline. Also, we read the README of the instruction instruct pixel to pixel Stable Diffusion XL. So this code has been going through official code reviews by Hugging Face and had been merged into the master branch. So if you use the Hugging Face instruction pixel to pixel, and you are using my code. So in terms of the results, like we are comparing at that time, like doing the hand fixation was not a very common. So at that time, like there was one baseline which called hand refiner proposed by some people in Sydney. And compared to their results, like our results can fix the hand to be more natural and valid. The thing was that if we look at the hand refiner, like they changed the original image that do not belong to the hand part. For example, if you look, I don't know whether you can see that, but if you look closer to the lip of this person, and they just changed this to red, but for the original image, they were not red, and this applies to other images as well. And for evaluation metrics, this part may be relevant to previous Chen's question about how can we make sure that the metrics are valid or rational. So we just get the metrics from the evaluation. Also, we just recruited some people to manually assess the quality of each image, and then in the end we calculate the correlation between the evaluated metrics and the manual impression, and we saw that they are positively correlated. So yeah, to summary, our work of the LMOD benchmark and HandCraft demonstrate the progress and challenges in applying large AI models to real-world domains. The LMOD benchmark has revealed the current large language models still face limitations in accurately diagnosing ophthalmologic diseases and recognizing anatomical structures in ophthalmology images. However, it also highlights the immense potential for collaboration between AI community and ophthalmology experts to develop more reliable and effective models that can assist in understanding eye conditions and improving patient care. On the other hand, HandCraft showcases the power of automated hand restoration techniques in addressing the common issue malformed hands in diffusion-generated images. So in the end, what we want is that people can just use the models without any human intervening, which is what we mean by landing large models. Yeah, also like we are working on adapting large models to specific domains and applications, which is an ongoing task. In the end, so if people are interested in my background, I will just purposely make this in the end because this is the least important part of the talk. My name is Zhenyue Qin, and I'm currently a postdoc associate at Yale under the mentorship of Prof Qingyu. I did my undergraduate as my PhD in Australian National University. Previously, I was a senior scientist. I was an algorithm scientist at Singing Machines, which is not famous in here, but like in Australia, it's a publicly listed AI companies and one of the biggest AI companies in Australia. And also after that, I was a senior researcher at Tencent Australia. My current research interests include AI for healthcare and computer vision. That concludes my talk, and questions are welcome.
Cool, but I don't know enough about it.
Yeah, just scan the QR code and try by myself. Yeah.
Yeah, maybe we can load that QR code here.
Sure.
Is that in the video? So maybe it's hard to show.
Yeah. Oh, well, yeah. Currently, we haven't made it online yet. So later, maybe in the end of this month, I'll just make it online.
It's repeating. Oh yeah, it's well showing the middle.
Yeah. Well, just
Yeah.
let you
Okay.
know.
Yeah. Okay. Any other questions?
Are the hand forms promptable? So I'm seeing a few distinct forms set, but can you just describe in text what you would like the hand forms to be?
Yeah, that's a great question. When we were doing the work, no, like you should just purely use the texture without using the like visual prompt. Like you will not be able to restore the hand as the correct format. Yeah. So to answer your question, at least at that time when we were doing the work, no, you could not just use the textures. Sorry.
Yeah, thank you.
Any other questions?
Have you tried your method on some complex case like there are multiple person and their hands maybe overlap with others?
Oh yeah, we tried that. We tried that kind of scenarios for multiple persons. Multiple persons can work. The challenging part is that in terms of the occlusion, that doesn't work anymore. And also sometimes if one person is holding one object and
still, yeah, for your case, for the hand, like in some resolution is maybe in some pictures they're small and in some others are very big. So are your methods still and for this case?
Yeah, that's a great question. Yeah, glad that you are not the reviewer for at that time. No, we didn't try this case.
That's maybe too challenging for now.
Oh yeah, stylized art, this would probably have a pretty hard time with.
Sorry.
Stylized art, this would probably have a pretty hard time with. This is probably geared mainly for realistic art.
Oh, you know, actually, if you look at the, it really depends on the diffusion models that you are using. But if you look at this one, yeah, this is like a more
Well,
cartoon style.
This is a realistically proportioned anime art, but if you're to look at like Studio Trigger, one of their Sakuga scenes where it gets really stylized and out of proportion, that might have trouble.
Okay, like, yeah, I'll just talk to you later about what was that scene be like in terms of the.
Okay, yeah, we can come to that.
Yeah, but yeah, I don't know whether it worked on some like a very non-human like creatures like the creatures in Harry Potter. I don't know whether that works or not. But yeah, anyway, I'll talk to you later.
Yeah, thank you.
Okay.
Okay.
Thank you very much.